All right, 8:32, everybody. And drivers, listen up. A big warning for you if you are parking illegally. Lawmakers considering a new proposal to crack down on double parked cars here in the city.
Yeah, the $35 million pilot program is being steered by Queens Assemblyman Stephen Raga, who is joining us this morning to explain how the program would operate. So good morning, Assemblyman Raga. Great to have you with us.
Hey, good morning. How is everybody? Happy to join you.
We're good. We're good. So double parking, I mean, it's a way of life for a lot of New Yorkers, especially on alternate side of the street parking days. That's a big issue. But this isn't who you're going after, right, with this pilot program. So can you kind of give us an overview of how you see it working?
Yeah, for sure. Now, this is to capture curb violations like idling in crosswalks, double parking like was mentioned, or stopping in restricted areas. But this is really to identify high traffic areas, high areas or intersections that have high violations, also high fatalities. So it's only 150 cameras. We're not going after every corner around everyone's block. We're going to make sure that we identify the high problem areas and make sure we alleviate traffic and make it also safer for New Yorkers to walk around.
Yeah, so how will the fines work, right? Because that's the big effect for drivers who are forced to double park, especially like when dropping off or picking up a passenger, right? Are they going to get a ticket? Is there a time limit on when the camera actually takes the photo?
Yes, absolutely. We're not adding more restrictions. We're not adding more punitive measures. This is really just to reinforce the current traffic laws of New York City. It's just a lot of times when there's multiple repeats of these high traffic or high double parked areas, when people call 311, they do it the right way. They have a list of 311 complaints and reference numbers that I give to the office. By the time the police get there, they're gone already. So it becomes a really a hectic place where you just keep filing the 311 complaints and they're not going to be there by the time they get there. So this is a way to just, when we will work with DOT once put in. We have about a year to identify where the 150 cameras are going to go, and if it's not a high violation area, we won't put a camera there.
Yeah, but what about the time limit, right? So like somebody pulls up to a spot, and how quickly are they allowed to be there before the camera takes the photo?
Absolutely. It is not automatic. It is not an immediate capture. If you're going to go in and just get your, bacon, egg, and cheese, pick up your grandma, pick up your kid from the school, it's going to just work with the current laws. So if it's a 15-minute delay or 15-minute wait, it's not automatic. You're still in the clear. It's just to make sure we get more eyes on the ground.
Okay. Can you give us an example then? Like, give us an example of a person, what they're doing, and how the car would get ticketed by the camera?
Yeah, for sure. Yes, if you're in an intersection or double parked, or in some parts of our city triple or quadruple parked, and you're there, and it's obviously you're picked up by the camera, and it's 30 minutes, 40 minutes. People have been doing that.
Yeah.
And if you're in the view of the camera, it would be an automatic violation.
Okay. So then it takes a picture, sends it to you, et cetera. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to understand something because I'm not familiar with the law here. So is there an actual time limit right now in the current law? Because you said you're following the current law. So is there a law that says you can't be double parked for a certain amount of time?
Yeah, it's following the current, because not every it's different parts. So you have the double park, then you have when you're in an intersection, when you're parking at a loading dock, a hydrant, like they all have a certain time limit. So it's going to just follow the current law that's already in place.
How much will the fine be?
I believe it's about, again, it's different fines, but it's, I think it's between around 75 to 125.
Okay. And do you have an idea what neighborhoods you're going to put these cameras in for the pilot program?
Yes. So we would be working with the Department of Transportation to identify what neighborhoods we're going to be putting in. If you believe you're in a neighborhood that this is not an issue, it's probably not going to be in targeted for your neighborhood. But I've been getting these calls from Western Queens in my neighborhoods of Maspeth, Woodside, and previously Astoria, and working with our other colleagues in government from the other boroughs. They're having these issues too. So it's going to be really targeted for areas that should be focused on, and we'll be working hand in hand with other colleagues in government, but also the Department of Transportation, who probably already has the data on where intersections have high rates of fatalities or violations.
Who's paying for the cameras?
The cameras would be, we're targeting or pushing it to be pushed in the New York State budget this year.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the response you're getting, right? The New York City Department of Transportation issuing a statement supporting the crackdown. They said New York City DOT supports expanding the use of automated enforcement to uphold the city's parking regulations, which are essential to keeping streets clear, reducing traffic congestion, and protecting New Yorkers on our roads. So that's the statement from the DOT. So you want it in the budget. We're in budget season, right? So what are the next steps, and how soon could we potentially see this being put into effect?
For sure, for sure. If this is passed in our budget, if we're targeting on time, we would know by April 1st. If there's any delay, we'd know in the next, maybe mid-April, but we'll know by then for sure in the next coming weeks.
Okay, and real quick, is there a program like this anywhere in the country? And if so, is it working? Or would this
right
be a
now,
first of its kind?
Yes, New York City would be leading the way in this effort. Right now, we're kind of learning from how the cameras maybe on the bus lanes have been working and working to this effect. So I think this is another way that we could use the technology that we have, the tools that we have, not just to make New Yorkers safer when they're crossing the street, whether you're in a wheelchair or on a stroller or you're a senior with a walker, but also just making congestion flow a bit better for drivers.
Okay, keep us posted. Famous last words is we're on time for that budget. Hear that every year. Hear that every single year, and then we're talking about it in June. Assemblyman Raga, good to see you. Thanks for talking about this. Keep us posted, all right?
Will do. Have a good one.
All right.
You too. All right, it's 8:38 right now. Coming up,